Hey guys, Roy from A&S Gear. Get out your gun because we're going to do some upgrades today. All right, so we are going to look at installing the CS2 grips onto the CS1 or 1.5. So I have a 1.5 here. I have the new CS2 grips right here. And also, just for reference, I have a CS2 right here. So we're going to take the grips off of this one, and we're going to show you the differences between the frame on a CS2 and the frame on a CS 1.5, and what you need to do to install the grips onto your CS 1.5 or CS1. So I've already removed the screws out of the grips on the CS 1.5. So we're going to pull this off. And we're going to go ahead and put these in. So first difference you're going to see, obviously, is the CS2 grips have the snap lock. They don't use screws anymore. As well as on the top side, if you look at the top of the CS1 grip, you can see that it's just flat along the top there. Okay, there's no ridges or bumps or anything like that. If we look at the top of the CS2 grip, you can see that there's a bump there, and on the back side here, and then on the back end, there's a bump at the top right here. Those bumps are okay. We do not need to modify any of these top bumps in order to get this to fit onto the CS1 or 1.5. What we do need to focus at and what we need to look at is on the CS2, on the back portion, the front portion of the grip will fit onto the CS1 or 1.5 without doing anything to it. So I can take the front and I can put this right on here, and I do not need to do any physical modifications at all. It will go on there, no problems. So the front part is not what we need to focus on. It's not the problem causer, or I don't want to call it the problem causer. It's not the culprit when it comes to the issue. It's the back. If we look at the frames here, let me take these grips off of this CS2. If we look at the back side here, you can see, well, hopefully you can see, inside the back of the CS2 grip, there's this little notch right there and this notch on this side right here. Now those fit into a groove on the CS2 frame right there, so that they are held in place. The CS1 or 1.5 frame does not have that notch on it. So if you try to take a CS2 back piece or back grip and put it on there, you can't get it to sit up. You see how it flares out on the body right here? It won't actually get up into position, and it won't lock in. It just sticks out on the side. So we need to remove the tabs inside this grip in order to get it to fit properly. So you can do that a number of ways. I used a straight razor when I did it before, or a box cutter like this, something that gives you some sort of control, and I just went in there and I cut that piece out. I just went through there and snapped it off. Now, using something like this is dangerous, obviously. It's very easy to cut yourself with something like this. So you could do it any number of ways. You could use a pair of pliers, like a sharp nose plier, and you could trim that piece off. You could use a file, and you could file it off. You could use a Dremel, and you could grind it off. Whatever you need to do to get that grip to fit, or to get that, that piece off of there. Is all she wrote. See, there it is, right there. I just popped that piece off. Then I went back in and I kind of, any of the pieces that it didn't get, I didn't trim enough off of there or whatever, I just cleaned those up, made sure it's nice and flat. Do that to the other side. Making sure to keep my hands away so that this isn't coming off and cutting through my fingers or something like that. That's definitely not something we want to have happen. And then I'm just going to go back in and clean it up again. All right, so this is all you need to take off, these two little tabs that are on the inside there. That's it. just those two pieces. And then obviously if it doesn't come off clean, anything that you need to remove, to make sure that it is just flush on the inside here. All right, so once those are off, let's go ahead and get the rest of our grip on here. See the difference between that which had the tab and it wouldn't go on there to where it is now? Big difference on there. Yeah, so that's going to go on perfect. So let's do it the right way. Put our fronts on. Now remember, the top has those little notches, so we got to lock those in underneath the frame, and the cutout is still there for it. Take the back, so slide that up, squeeze it together, and then slide them on. And there we go. CS2 grips on a CS 1.5. And the modification is super simple, whether you either want to cut it off, again, be extremely careful if you're going to use a razor, or file it, or Dremel it, or sand it, or whatever you need to do to it to get that off of there, so that you make that nice and smooth and even on the inside. And that's it. You do not need to remove any of these top ones. If you do, it might, pop out this way, and you don't want that to happen. So 2 inside tabs and you're done. Simple, simple. You saw me do it, and without all the blither blather and the talking, it would take 30 seconds to actually do it. So that's it. That's the install of the CS2 grips on a CS 1.5. I hope that helps.